Ooh, guys, have you ever heard of Nissan? Now, they've given us plenty blockbusters in the past, but in the recent times, they've been left trailing in the dust. But Nissan, what they've decided to do is bring together a few of the global successes and put them in an arena. And they're doing it in a bid to make us understand that they've still got it, what it takes to be a global success. So come, let's check out what they've got for us. There are a few manufacturers that try to give us a taste of good SUVs even before we deem them trendy and hot selling. Remember the X-Trail, that rugged looking thing that even had lights within the roof rails? This behind me is the 4th generation Nissan X-Trail, which is going to be introduced to our market in the coming months. If you ask me what it is, it's an SUV that competes against the likes of the Volkswagen Tiguan, the Hyundai Tucson, the C5 A-Cross and the likes of such. But all of that depends on its pricing and also the powertrain options that it will be introduced with. But let's quickly go check it out a bit closer. Alright, in terms of the design, it's gotten a lot more sleeker and a lot more sporty as compared to the older X-Trail. Also has this large V-motion grille with a split headlamp setup. So you have DRLs up top and indicators within them, and lower down is your main illumination unit. It also gets vents for the brakes to be cooled. And an SUV does not establish SUV credentials without cladding, so it gets that as well. Now, if you move with me to the side, you have more cladding on the side. You have very chunky looking panels, says Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Now, this I suspect is a top spec model because it doesn't get a sunroof. E-Power, now that is key. This SUV is going to be introduced in India with a small engine powered with hybrid technology. So that will ensure its efficiency, its performance as well. So all of those things will make a difference in this segment. What I like on the side is this chrome that runs across through the length of the car, but the lower line of it has a matte effect to it. Again, quite a premium touch, right? I quite like the design of those wheels. Also, these tail lamps, if you notice, they are spread across 3 panels, and that tells you that it is quite a wide unit. Now the boot is open. Let's quickly peek in there. Again, so this model, not being the top spec model, doesn't get an electric tailgate, but it does open up to show a very huge boot space. Can I get it? Okay. And what I also like is this integrated spoiler. It's quite stylish, also gets a little recess here. You have a shark fin antenna, and again, E-Power branding on the rear, and a very bulky tailgate and a very rugged bumper, all of it to establish its lifestyle credentials. Quite a looker, quite imposing. It is athletic, but it is also upright and it is tall. Now let's quickly check the interiors and see what the X-Trail gets.
I would have loved to give you my in-car experience, but Nissan, they had other plans. Their cars were locked by the time we could roll, but I did spend time in all 3 cabins. The X-Trail is a big SUV on the outside, and the same can be said for the cabin as well. I was really impressed by the overall build quality. Everything was solid and everything felt heavy, like that chunky steering wrapped in leather, the rugged fabric-wearing seats, the stylish gear knob. Even the switches had very good feedback. The screens were bright and crisp, however, they didn't feel all that new age in terms of interface. Dark colors and the absence of a sunroof on this particular variant meant it didn't look as huge as it could, but it still had ample space for a 6-footer like me on the front as well as the rear row. Now, speaking of rows, the X-Trail can be opted for a 7-seater variant too. It has a 1.5-litre 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, but it only acts as a generator. The X-Trail that you see here and the one that you'll be able to buy will be e-powered, which means it will drive like an electric vehicle at all times without an actual need for charging it. It will also have a 4-wheel drive variant, but no mechanical locking diffs for the rear axle. Instead, it gets its own motor for the rear axle, just like the front.
So those are the things that the X-Trail offers. Obviously, its highlights are the looks, imposing, sleek, and also that hybrid technology, because that will ensure a lot of things: efficiency, good NVH levels for the cabin, and also economy. And that is something that us Indians love, don't we? Now, if the testing is successful, Nissan will be introducing a lot more products. Now, if you are intrigued what more products, I've got one right there. Now, that is something that looks really stylish. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Nissan Juke. If you're wondering another SUV, obviously Nissan, they've tasted success with the Magnite and they want to continue with that success, right? So the Nissan Juke, in terms of the dimensions, it competes against the MG Aster and the Volkswagen Tiguan and the Skoda Qashqai. But then again, look at it. It's a lot more stylish, very outlandish, a lot of design elements that make it quirky. One word to describe the styling, it is stylish. So again, it gets that V-motion grille, and the inserts here, they are quite interesting because they are slanted, so that should direct air towards a certain particular element, which I'm guessing is the turbo intercooler. We are not allowed to open this because if you notice, this is the left-hand side drive car, so internationally spec. But then again, you have DRL elements opt up and a very interesting tri-arrow element for the main illumination. Also gets a bulb in between. Everything on the face of the Juke is LED illumination. Quite sporty. Right now, let's go around. Very interesting design for the alloy wheels here. I suspect that these are coming to India. It gets heavy cladding. Again, hybrid badging, because paired with that engine is hybrid technology to ensure good efficiency and good NVH levels as well. And towards the side, oh, it is gorgeous, quite sporty, isn't it? You have a sloping roofline, and if you notice, the door handles are integrated here. So it's not a 3-door, it is actually a 5-door. Towards the back, I really like how it sits. It squats really nice, looks very sporty. And what's the thing with Nissan designers? I mean, they always nail the rear. I think they have a rear fetish. Anyways, just look at it. A very sporty spoiler, again, has that recess that we spotted with the X-Trail. It's dual colored and gets a Juke badging there and a hybrid badging here. Now, this car of all 3 SUVs could come to India the last, but I'll tell you what. It might be a little expensive because of the technology and the styling and the features, but it has a lot to offer. Now, let's quickly have a little glimpse of the inside, what it has to offer.
The interiors of the Juke are just so luxurious and quirky. Nothing like you've ever seen in an SUV this size. You would have expected slightly inferior interiors, especially when this is the smallest of all 3 SUVs showcased, but no, it felt premium. The design is as quirky as the exterior styling is. The seats are comfortable and they have integrated headrests, and the screens, just like the X-Trail, are crisp but they don't feel groundbreaking. The only drawback that came to notice was limited headspace for the rear occupants. But in my books, it's a fair trade-off for that beautiful rear end that looks absolutely gorgeous and sporty. Oh, what a booty! The Juke showcased here had a 1.6-litre engine with hybrid technology paired with it. Extremely hush-hush, we weren't even allowed to peek inside the engine bay. But we were told that this powertrain promises good efficiency, good acceleration off the line, and good refinement too. What else would you need from a compact city car?
Now, if you think that the Juke was stylish, come take a look at this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Nissan Qashqai. Oh, what a looker. Now, every manufacturer has taken notice of the Creta's success, right? And they want to come in and grab a bite of that pie. This could be Nissan's answer. It all depends on the powertrain options and the pricing that they introduce it with. But then again, it continues to have that V-motion grille and this very striking looking headlamp. Very sharp design continued throughout the car. Also, you have functional vents to cool the braking system. Something that we've seen across all the SUVs that have been introduced here, what I particularly love is the Qashqai branding on the bumper. Makes it look really sporty. Now I suspect these gorgeous looking 20-inch rims are coming to India. But then again, if they do, you know it's going to be one hell of a looker out on the road. Also, like this dual tone treatment, it also gets that sloping roofline towards the end. You have roof rails finished in a contrasting silver color, and you also have a judicious use of chrome that kicks up towards the end, and it all merges together very beautifully. It has a very strong line here that starts from the front and wraps around the car. Very striking to look at. I also like the rear. Nissans and their rears, their engineers, 2 thumbs up for designing the rears, right? Gets that integrated spoiler with a little recess, has the Qashqai branding at the center, also large LED lamps that add more character. It has a lot of elements on the rear, a little busy to say so, because this is black and then this is color to the body, and then you have gray and then you have silver, but then again it all looks very stylish. Now let's quickly check the insides.
Simple and functional. However, it isn't all that groundbreaking anymore. I like how everything in the Qashqai's cabin makes sense. The judicious use of physical buttons, the positions of the screens, the space, the storage, it's all very practical, and that is clearly the reason why it is so popular overseas. And the build quality is just fantastic, just like the bigger X-Trail. Solid, heavy, chunky. It feels expensive, and that should certainly make you feel special. The Qashqai, if confirmed for India, will come with e-power, just like the X-Trail. But unlike the X-Trail, where the engine only works as a generator, in the Qashqai, it can also power the wheels depending on the driving situation. It's got some trick up its sleeve because it's capable of accelerating to 100 kmph in just under 8 seconds.
I wish customers were welcome to a site like this at a Nissan dealership, because these SUVs would make you want to believe that Nissan is on a journey to global domination. But for now, all I can tell you is that the X-Trail is coming to India for sure. The rest of SUVs are a speculation. They might be introduced by next year. Which of these SUVs did you like the most? Do let us know in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see you later. This is Vipul signing off.